early hip hop culture obviously were black, right? And you know, there were sprinkles of Latins, you know, Puerto Ricans mostly. I don't know any Dominicans.
I didn't know Puerto Ricans had a look.
Actively involved in,
but they could have been because some of them looked like that, but they just wasn't representing Dominican. But they could have been.
Faction. I had two Dominican friends, Cheeky and Herman, that lived across the street, across the hall from me. But they lived across the hall from me before I got involved in hip hop. And then when I got involved in hip hop, they came to the parties every now and then.
But they wasn't really.
It wasn't their thing, right? It wasn't their thing. They wasn't fucking with it. And I was listening to earlier, you know, to y'all talking, and there was a time when, you know, blacks and Puerto Ricans didn't rock with each other like that, to the point where, like, even if you were cool with some Puerto Ricans, you were cool with them when they wasn't around their people. Because when they was around their people, you was Cocolo.
That must be the white Puerto Ricans, because I never heard of that one.
You know, and you know, even when I would go to like Bronx River Center, I was one of the few dudes from around my neighborhood, Lambert houses, that could go to Bronx River and not get robbed, because one of my OGs, rest in peace, Spider, was one of the Gestapo crew. And so he held me down, so I never got robbed when I went to Bronx River. So I went to Bronx River and I seen it all. And in Bronx River Center, like as far as B-boys is concerned, you know, even with the B-boy culture, there were sprinkles of, you know, Latino B-boys, but few. It was just a few.
And when we're talking B-boys, we're talking like break dancers and popping and electric boogaloo and all that.
Right.
They do that up front.
Because
there were many more.
Chirac and I think DXT both described themselves as nomadic B-boys and B-girls.
Right. Yes, because they were nomadic because they followed the playlist of whoever the DJ was that was playing in the breaks, because that's what, you know, that's what compelled them to go to the parties.
Okay, my point of this little quick 4-minute video is the way I catch people. When people say, I only seen a few Puerto Ricans, that's because they stereotype Puerto Ricans. Because this guy right here, Raheem, he could pass for a Puerto Rican. There's Puerto Ricans that look just like him and that are darker than him. Alpo Martinez was Puerto Rican and he looked black. Roberto Clemente. Puerto Ricans come in all shades. So when people say, oh, there was only a sprinkle of Latinos or Puerto Ricans, that's because you're just counting the light-skinned Puerto Ricans. There's all type of shades of Puerto Ricans. And the B-boys, they've been there. There's proof that they've been there with the black spades since 1968. And in 1971, 72, Smokatron and Luckatrons invented their B-boy and B-girl crew. And in 1973, they were also at Kool Herc's party. So for people to even, I can understand the music is more dominated by black Americans, but to say the B-boying, you didn't hardly see Puerto Ricans when they're the ones that really carry that on their back. And the reason why the Olympics will have it is because they kept it going and they opened up breaking schools in Florida, Philly, Chicago, and they kept it going. Like, that's real disrespectful. Y'all just, and for you to say, I only saw a sprinkle of Latinos, you don't know what a Latino looked like. Because Lala Anthony and J-Lo are both Puerto Ricans. And I bet you would have just counted J-Lo, but not Lala Anthony. And that's real sad the way y'all coming out. Because if y'all really want to fix the conversation and bring everything to the forefront, you will speak to the people that were there from day one. Because Lord Jamar is a legend in what he did, but he wasn't there in the beginning. He wasn't even born when hip-hop was created. So it's just sad how people just want to bring their stories. But people that are aware that Boricuas, Latinos, they don't all come in one shade. Like I said, Roberto Clemente, Ricky Martin are both Boricuas, and they're both different shades. So anybody, once they say, oh, I didn't see so many Puerto Ricans, you already lost the argument, because a Puerto Rican doesn't have a shade, doesn't have a look. All Puerto Ricans don't look like Fat Joe. So if Fat Joe was walking down the block with Lala Anthony, you're just going to say Lala Anthony is black and Fat Joe is Latino, which the both of them are Boricuas. It's just crazy.